welcome. I hope you will enjoy these next 15 weeks where we talk about endurance performance from a physiological perspective. Now, those of you who may have taken KIN 456 or 656, biomechanics of endurance performance, the model of this class is pretty darn similar to that. So you'll see a lot of similarities in how we're going to approach the semester. If this is the first class you're taking with me, then it'll be new, and I've got material laid out in each module, which represents each week in Canvas. And I try to make sure that I go through what you need to cover that week. And I approach the 15-week semester just as if we're training for an endurance performance at week 15 or week 16 of the class, our final exam. In that I try to do a good pace of content throughout the semester. And it's important for you to keep up with the content. What I'd like you to do is block out time in your schedule where you're going to dedicate your time to this class specifically. And that may be an hour a day, maybe 2 hours every other day. Whatever is appropriate for you to cover the content of the class and of the material in each week. Now, we were originally going to be a hybrid class, but due to the changes based upon COVID-19, this will be remote for at least the first half of the semester, and then we'll see where we are at with guidance, and then we may go back to a hybrid model where we actually try to meet in person starting sometime week 9 or after. But the first 8 weeks are going to be entirely remote, okay? So keep that in mind, but do keep this time block for your in-person time available in your schedule. And that was Monday, Wednesday, 10 to 11:15. And what I'll actually do is I will post certain times or certain dates that I will just open up a Zoom hour for anyone to join in during that class time if you have any questions or want to connect in any way. All right, so in this video though, I'm going to go through the syllabus for the course, the nuts and bolts that you need to know going through the next 15 weeks. So this is me, John Mercer, my email listed there, my office, and I'll only be in my physical office every now and then. I will not be in there consistently. So most likely if you knock on the door, I probably won't be there because I'll be working remotely just like you folks will be. For office hours, what I'd like to do is by appointment, and you can use this link, and it is my email signature as well. But this is the link that will take you to a calendar that you can then book an appointment with me. And you don't need to message me ahead of time. You can just find the day and time that works for you and then book that time. That shows up in my calendar, and then I'll create a video link and add that to the calendar invite. And then we would meet electronically through that video meeting. All right, so please use that calendar, and please know it's available to you to reach out and connect with me. All right, so what is this course about? Well, this course, the primary objective is to provide a study of the mechanisms which regulate physiological systems and the way regulation functions to maintain homeostasis. An emphasis is placed on those systems involved in the integrated response to exercise, and even more so applied to endurance performance. And I'll have some other videos on what I mean by endurance performance, because for endurance, maybe 200 meters for some people, maybe 400 meters, but more so, I'm really talking about events like a marathon, a half marathon, an iron distance event, or maybe a half Ironman type of event. Something that is going to take a substantial long period of time. But we'll go through that. And endurance is a relative term based upon where we are talking and what type of people we're talking about. You need to have Dr. Tim Noakes's book, The Lore of Running by Human Kinetics. This isn't the bookstore. You can also find it used for very, I think the lowest I've seen is like $10. So, but you need the book. And the first 4 chapters are jam-packed with good physiology information. And that is going to, those first 4 chapters are going to serve as the bulk of the content that we're going to cover throughout this 15 weeks. What you might also want to have, and what you may already have, is a physiology book that you use for KIN 391. And I believe they are still using Scott Powers and Ed Hawley's book, Exercise Physiology. Excellent book. If they switch to a different book, that's fine. Use what other book they have. Now, this is a recommended book, so any physiology, exercise physiology book. In fact, if you don't want to buy one, go to the library and just check one out for the semester. Go in the library and just search for exercise physiology textbook and use that. You'll find that very helpful when you're trying to understand certain physiological systems. Noakes writes his book more for the lay audience. However, he has a lot of science in the book at the same time. So it's a little bit of a mixture. But a textbook will be a little bit more cut and dry in terms of how things are presented. I also highly recommend you getting a copy of Tabor's Medical Dictionary. This is an excellent book. And if you're going to continue on into graduate work, or if you are in the graduate program now, I strongly recommend that you have your own copy of this. You can check one of these out at the library as well. But this is a really great resource to get succinct definitions of key terms. Anaerobic threshold, lactate. There's all, you can just look these terms up and it will provide some really good, clear information that you can, that will help you understand the concept or the term that we're discussing, and then ultimately to apply that term to endurance performance. And as I note there in that third bullet, any exercise physiology textbook is recommended, in addition to what I want you to have, which is Tim Noakes's book. All my lectures are based on Dr. Noakes's book, The Lore of Running, almost all lectures, okay? So you'll need to read that material and then watch the lectures, and they go hand in hand. But then have another book that you can refer to and read that complements the required book, okay? Grading elements are listed here, and as you can see, the first 4 chapters of the book are emphasized a lot in this class, okay? The other chapters are also excellent, and I will go through some of the chapters, but though the information in the other chapters continues to change, it's like training programs, even ergogenic aids. The information changes, quite rapidly with the development of our science and our understanding of how to help someone go faster, or what drugs are being used illegally to enhance performance, and what other ergogenic aids that are legal can you use to enhance performance. That changes a little bit more rapidly than what this textbook can keep up with, but nevertheless, I'll go through some of that. The final exam will be during final exam week, and it will cover all course material. I'll go through the semester project in a separate video, but there's 2 elements that make up your total grade that are pulled from the semester project. This is the weekly assignments, and then the final product, which will be a 3-minute video that you'll put together for your own project. It's going to be an individual project. And then I have other assignments, and these are just our log that we're keeping up with the material each week. It's really important to have a steady pace of going through the content that I'm presenting. Just as if you're training for a marathon or an Ironman, you're going to do a little bit of work every week, and before you know it, you're going to be able to toe a start line of a marathon and do successfully. No, you don't need to sign up for a marathon or an Ironman. Maybe you will by the end of this semester, but you don't need to. But I do approach education in a very similar way, that we try to do sustainable, consistent training, either physical for an event or in this case, knowledge-wise for our course. And just a little bit more on the assignments. Each week there will be 2 assignments posted, a log for you to keep track of your assigned work. That's this 5%. And then assignment specific to the semester project. That's this part right here. Okay. So you'll see SP1, A1, SP2, A2, so far that corresponds to the week. And just keep up with those, upload them, and you'll be developing your project that way, and you'll be developing your knowledge of physiology as pertains to endurance performance. Assignments will be posted each Monday of every week, and then you need to turn them in by Friday of the same week. Late assignments will be reduced by 10% for each calendar day. So every day, 10% lower. So just get them in on time, stay up with them, and those are easy components that make up your final grade. I'll do a separate video on the semester project, but it is an individual project, and the end product is a YouTube video link that you will produce and send to me, and then I'll watch 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes is short, which is good. 3 minutes is sometimes long, depending on your perspective. But 3 minutes often is a challenge for people to say, how do I fit all this information I've learned about an answer to a question into 3 minutes? And that's part of the challenge, because what I'll help you do is identify the critical information that you want to include in your answer, so you become very succinct. 657 students, I'll have some separate material for you folks, separate exam questions as well. You'll always do all the elements that are listed here in the syllabus, plus a little bit more.